Hello everyone, welcome back to the series of tutorials on Python for beginners. I am Deepak Nial and in this tutorial I am going to discuss about Python data structures. If you remember our previous tutorial, we have discussed an overview of Python data structures, list, tuple, set and dictionary. And now in this tutorial I am going to discuss about list in detail. So lists are ordered and mutable data structures, and you can create a list using square brackets like this. Okay, so let us start by creating a list first, and I'm going to create a list with name subjects. So you can add multiple subjects here like C++, Python or Java, or maybe some other language like JavaScript. So you can add any one of them. If you want to see what this subject contains at this moment, you can print it, and here you have these list of subjects. You can also check the length using len function as you have checked in strings. So these are four elements inside this subject. You can add various kind of data types inside this list. As at this moment you can see that we have some strings here, but it is not mandatory. You can add some numerical values also, or some tuples, or any other data structure also, right? So now how can you access a list element? So for that you have to use list and then use index inside this. So how can you do that? Also use indexing. So in this case we have indexing 0, 1, 2 and 3, right? It also have negative indexing just like we use in strings. So you can see it here. So on -1 index we have JavaScript, right? You can also provide some range of indexes like this, starting from 1 to 3. So what is at 1 index? This is Python, then 2, and this is at 3. But this always exclude this last index. So you can see Python and Java we have here, right? What will happen if you remove this first index and keep this third one? So by default it starts with 0. So now in this case it will start with C++ and end at Java. Similarly, you can keep the first one and exclude the last index. In that case it will go at the end of the list, and now you can see it is starting from 0 and going till end. What will happen if you leave both the indexes? So in that case this index will start with 0 and this will go till the length of the list, right? So here is the complete list. You can also add some new elements to the list using append function. Suppose I want to add C here, then if you check subjects you will have C at the end. You can add some more subjects here by using appending function. You can use either single quotes or double quotes as you did previously. So you can add PHP here, and now again check the subjects and you have 6 subjects now, right? So as we were using some positive indexes or in range of indexes here, you can also use negative indexing. Suppose I want to start with -4 and go till -1. Can you guess the answer? Just pause the video and think about it, and then check the answer whether you are correct or not. So this is -1, this is 2, -3, -4. So actually we are starting with Java, right? And this would go till C because this is PHP is at -1 index, so it should be before that. And answer is Java, JavaScript, and C. Right? You can also change the values at some particular index. Let us suppose I want to change the value at -1 index and remove this PHP, or change this PHP with Perl. And now again try to check the list. It has C here and Perl in place of PHP. Correct? Now we have some other functionalities, like we can loop through the list. So how can you loop through it? For item, item is our own variable here. You can use anything here. You can use I or j, or maybe item, whatever you want. For item in subjects, so it means it will pick each element from this list and put it in item, right? So when I am printing item, it will print all the elements like this. There is one more thing in print function. If you want to separate these items by a comma or anything else, or maybe space, then you have to do like this, and equal to, and then put space here. This means all the items will be separated by this space, like this. Okay. Another thing, you can check if one item exists inside a list or not. So what you can do, maybe first I will provide you a question. Check if PHP exists inside subjects or not. So what can you do? If PHP in subjects, print PHP exists in current semester. Otherwise you can pass some another message, PHP not in this sem. So let us check this, and it says that PHP not in current semester. Try repeating this function, or try repeating this code for some another language, like we have Python here. So try testing it for Python. I will replace it here and in else also. So it says Python exists in current semester. So there are many more functions available in Python list, and we will be covering that thing in next lecture, because I think this is enough for this lecture. We have covered a lot of things. So in next lecture we will cover those functions, and we'll solve some questions based on them for practice purpose. If you have any doubt or query regarding anything, you can always write in the comment and I will surely respond back. So see you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much.